Hello to another more basic video again. I wasn't in the mood for juggling with my camera, so it's only top view from now on, and to your luck, I was not in the mood for being on camera directly, so we get these old style voiceover stuff again. And yes, I notice how dumb it is to complain about my mood. Yes, I am depressed, but I am depressed all the time. It may be a little bit more recently, but compared to what other people go through at the moment, I really should shut up. Yeah. But because of the recent events, I thought about peace a lot lately. And I noticed how much I used this word without even knowing what it means. And again, I still don't know what war feels like. That honor goes to the poor Ukrainian people, and I will not even try to understand what it means. But it kept me thinking about peace more and more. That was the reason why I decided to make this allegory of peace, inspired by the dove, the white dove that is one of the symbols for peace and freedom. And yeah, you already see me prepping a Laguna doll because I thought for the expression that I had in mind, her sculpt was the best choice. But I swapped out her body for, I think it's a Gulia that I had laying around, because I was not willing to deal with the fins that Laguna has. Because of the whole white dove motif, I wanted to go with white hair. The only one that I had laying around was glow-in-the-dark hair. In the end, the symbolism is quite nice, because now she's a bit of a light in the dark. And yes, it may sound insanely cheesy, but that was what went through my mind. After the rooting, I combed out her hair and gave her a quick haircut. And don't tell it to anyone, but those tutorials on YouTube on how to make a layered haircut are not completely incorrect. When I was trained to become a hairdresser, our teacher, who was questionable at times, showed us how to make a layered haircut by taking one of our mannequin heads, turning her upside down and just cutting her straight up. With the notion that you shouldn't do that with a customer, except the customer can do a handstand. I know it was supposed to be funny, but yeah. Let's talk about the repaint portion a little bit. I decided to stay with the bare minimum of shading and color, and I also decided to just, smash on a little bit of skin color and call it done, because as we all know, peace, freedom is quite a concept, and I didn't want her to be too human-like. That is why I decided leave out the whole skin color thing and just give her a little bit more of a tone, of a realistic tone, that she not only that she doesn't look just ill, and stay away from covering all with a typical skin color. Normally I don't very gravitate towards the Laguna dolls because her face sculpt is not my favorite. It's quite round and I'm not always happy with it. But for what I had in mind, it was more or less perfect. I wanted her to have very large eyes to get across this feeling of innocence. And large eyes normally bring this across quite well. For her expression, I decided to go with a combination of being sad and shocked, or a little bit in fear, because I wanted to bring across this fragileness of freedom, of peace, how easy it is to destroy it. And that was why I had this picture in mind of this peace allegory, looking over her shoulder with very wide opened eyes, looking as if she is a little bit in fear. I think I should say it like this. And I think I achieved what I was going for. She looks a little bit like a deer that is blinded by the headlights of a car. What, as funny as it sounds, was what I was going for. To bring out the innocent / cuteness factor even more, I decided to give her quite a lot and quite large light reflections in her eyes with acrylic paint. I decided too that I wanted to give her quite glossy eyes and lips. Again, to get all this across, what I had in mind for her face up. In the end, I glossed both her eyes and her lips twice and achieved what I was hoping for. Yay! I missed the opportunity to use my white lashes on her. I thought about them for a moment, but then I decided to go with brown ones because her eyes already had a lot of attention. I thought, dial it back a little bit at least. That is why I went with brown lashes, and I tried to glue them on in one row and only give her some extras at the end by gluing a second line on. It went as expected. I hate lashes. When this concept of a dove piece character came into my mind, I had this picture that she has wings, but not as wings, just like extensions from her arms. And I tried to achieve that by heating up or burning a toothpick and try to melt the plastic. That did not work at all. And then I tried to heat up a needle. That didn't work as well. So I took out the Dremel tool and just made some holes into her arms. After regular glue needed too much time to dry, I changed it up and used hot glue because I already had planned to give at least the part near the arm a little bit more to grip on by using epoxy sculpt. I did that off camera because, yeah, I had to get between the toothpicks, and that was a little bit tricky. Thanks to a very close friend who always brings me stuff when her workplace sorts out decorations and things like that, I have this bag of feathers. And we are talking about a real huge bag. I went through all of them, or nearly all of them, and tried to find some straight feathers that I could glue on as the main feathers of the wings. For all the others, I used some more fluffy ones. I thought, yeah, finally a project where I can use some of my feathers. Yeah, I barely used any of them, so maybe we will get some more feathered girls in the future. But for her wings, I just glued layers of feathers, first from the top, then from the bottom, to, yeah, get at least a wing wipe. Wipe? I don't mean anything to wipe something off, I mean a vibe. As a starting point, I made the thing that you now don't really see that is underneath and mimics the tail of a dove, these tail feathers. And yeah, I made the dress off camera. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to make, and I ended on this version because, explanation, everything has a symbol, isn't it great? The dress is rather sexy, I know, but I thought, yeah, peace is something you desire. Of course you don't desire it on a sexual level, but to bring across this desirable thing, I opted for this more sexy dress. And to reflect the innocence again, I used beads, or I used real pearls to close the top. I debated on putting on some gold chains and stuff like that as a symbol for, yeah, something to desire, but I deviated from that because I thought it would be too much. I wanted her to be a little bit more simple in her design. The last thing I added is a little nail design heart with some rhinestones, just because, yeah, symbolism for love, and I thought it suited her quite well. Instead of giving her a olive branch or something like that, I took out some fake leaves and made her, yeah, kind of a hair headband thing. These things you see in Greek mythology quite a lot. And then it was time to join her head to her body. I already had washed her hair to have it as straight as possible. And then I put out on her wreath, her thing, her crown, her, you know what I mean. And she was done. I have to say, she turned out different than I originally intended her to be, but I really like her. And I hope she brings across a little bit of this, yeah, peace, harmony, a little bit of the stuff that I wish all of us had. On this rather serious note, I now say goodbye to you, and I hope you are well and safe. And we will see us in another video. Bye.